at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports.
Guys are hot.
Time for the top local and national.
Okay, you guys are potted down.
Powered by the Sports.
What I'm going to do is, as soon as it says, guys, what's your top stories of the hour, I'm going to play the music.
On your favorite teams.
And it'll all work out. You guys can go into
Exciting as the game.
Trace McSorley's the starter.
No better.
And then I'll pod up this music later. And as soon as you guys start talking, I'll pod down the music.
Now guys, what's your top story this hour?
They can't touch my deep ball. Every game I'm scoring. I'm your favorite quarterback. They call me Chase McSorley. Rep that blue and white. You know I do it for the glory. Baker won the Heisman. Next up, Chase McSorley. Chase McSorley. They call me Chase McSorley. I went out to hook up in a sorority. Michigan defense softer than that cheesecake. Beaver Stadium, get live. Home team, home team.
3. Two. One minute.
910 and on our free iHeartRadio
You guys are
app.
hot.
Yesterday was the first day for signing day in college football. I'm such not a fan of this.
I'm not either.
Used to love the first Wednesday in February, right?
Yeah.
That as the former executive director of National Football Foundation, Valley Sun chapter, we used to have these signing day events where we would invite 100+ kids locally that would come to an event, breakfast lunch, and they would announce with the hats, and then every single one would be interviewed on our show. Every single kid. Didn't matter if he was going to Montana or Arizona State or wherever it was. And now there's just no excitement around that particular signing day.
No, it's lost. It's lost in the shuffle. You have the NBA playing. You have the NFL playing. You have bowl games that are now getting underway. The signing day it's great still for the kid who's announcing.
Sure.
But it's just lost in the shuffle as far as major media is concerned.
So
it's amazing.
Let's just play that we are major media.
Well,
so
I
do want to give some love to it today.
Then let's do it.
Because it's a new era. There's some new energy there at Arizona State with Dillingham. Of course, the Chaparral High product, who the former offense coordinator at Oregon, who's got kind of a late start, in recruiting. But I got to give him a lot of credit. So if you look at, and most of my numbers are all based off of 24/7 Sports. The ones that are they're the best at this.
They are.
So they have 12 enrollees, so 12 guys that have come in, and they have 14 transfers, which is a big number.
That is.
They rank 56 amongst all college D1 programs, but their transfer ranking was 17, which is very good.
Yes.
And that's what we're seeing more of. And if you look at by state, it was 3 from California, 2 from Texas, 2 from Virginia, then a bunch of schools that are just had 1. There's a lot of 3-star. Like on the guys that they got yesterday, it's basically all 3 stars.
Okay.
I don't see any 4 or 5 stars. But they won on Monday with the Notre Dame quarterback.
They did.
And Drew
Pine.
Yep. Who announced he was transferred there. And then of Jacob Conover, right?
Conover, yeah.
Who was the Chandler kid, former BYU. So they're sitting pretty good at quarterback.
Here's what I'll say about what took place. And we had this conversation after Dillingham was hired on how important it was for him not just to be a good recruiter and recruit in this area, but to hit that transfer portal. And Rock, I think it's paid dividends for him. Now, look, he's not Deion Sanders, who's got the top kid from last year who played for Deion at Jackson State coming in to Colorado, which that just took place today. But if you have him at 17th, that's a terrific number using that transfer portal.
Absolutely. And he's got about 3 guys from Cal. He's got a couple from BYU. Yep. He's got a Kansas State kid. He's got a Wisconsin kid. He's got a USC Texas kid, a Texas kid. So, of course, Notre Dame, as we talked about. Yep. So it did a real good job, at least on paper.
Yes,
at least on paper.
Yep.
So here he is. You're going to hear from Coach Dillingham now. This is we're going to play a couple pieces from his interview with Yogi Roth on the Pac-12 Network yesterday. Here he is on his philosophy and his coaching staff's philosophy on this particular class.
Evaluation. That's been the philosophy. No stars, evaluation. Watch every kid that we're going to bring on campus, and not just evaluate the player, evaluate the person. If you look around college football, the teams that are winning championships are the teams with the best culture. And we want to create a culture here. We want to create a culture of kids that have a chip on their shoulder, kids that want to work. And that's really what we're evaluating. We're watching tape. We're saying yes or no as a player, then yes or no as a person. And those are the people we're trying to target to bring in. So I would say the key to this class was not spur of the moment. Who's out there and check a website and see, who's ranked high. It was absolute watch these guys and eval them from somebody from Arizona or somebody from across the country.
That's Coach Dillingham on the Pac-12 Network yesterday. And, he mentioned culture.
Yes.
Something that he's really preaching now is activate the Valley. Activate the Valley. It's something he's diving into. Here is, when asked about that on the Pac-12 Network, here is his definition of how to activate this Valley.
Our staff has natural roots in the Valley, from coaching high school in the Valley to being born and raised here. So we truly want to keep these kids home. And like I tell people, I've also gotten some pushback with it. People said, well, my son's not from Arizona. Is he going to play? I'm like, yes. Good enough to play is going to play. When we say activate the Valley, what that really means is we want to get the entire city. This is the fourth largest city, metropolitan area in the country, right? It's the largest metropolitan area with one Division I football team in the country, right? So for us, can we get the entire city, the entire Valley around this program and being supportive of our student athletes, whether that's a kid from Arizona or not? That's what I mean by activate the Valley. It's activate the city. That's one of the most fastest growing cities in the country. That's a phenomenal place to live. The NFL players come to retire. Let's just skip a step and bring it here.
All right, he came out and he said he wants 45,000 people to show up for the spring game. And
Good luck with that.
Yeah, and the question was, well, how are you going to attract people to come to that? He says, just watch. We're going to have all kinds of different events. The fans are going to be involved within the game itself. I'm looking forward to seeing what concepts he comes up with.
Yeah, we'll see. But you just don't know. He's never been a head coach before.
No, he has not.
Now, for Arizona, 23 players they signed to a letter of intent yesterday in the early signing day. And Arizona coach, here's Jed Fish and what he had to say with the mix of defense and the portal.
That what we wanted to do a year ago was fix our offense. We felt the best way to get our program going was to fix the offense first and foremost. And we did that. And then what we felt like the best way to get a good defense is for them to want to join a team that they know they're going to score points. We thought it'd be a tough sell to get guys to come over defensively and still not know if you were going to have to win games 16-13. So, we're excited about, the offense and the way it's going. I'd honestly say some of our biggest portal pickups were guys not going in the portal or guys not going to the NFL draft. Jordan Morgan coming back for another year. Mike Wiley coming back for another year. Jacob Cowan coming back for another year. Jane DeLora coming back for another year. When you look at those guys, that core group, T-Mac, right? That core group of 5 or 6 skilled guys, we got a really special offense. Now, when you start taking that group and you add in Justin Flo, you add in the 15 defensive commits that we've gotten so far already today, expect a couple more here in the next, days or weeks here ahead. I think we're going to end up here with about 17 or 18 defensive commits, 4 or 5 from the portal, and a pretty special group of elite players.
Justin Foe is the guy that everybody's talking about,
Huge.
Oregon linebacker.
Huge.
And then Bill Norton, who's the defensive lineman from Georgia. But when you look at their ranking in Arizona, they're ranked 25th overall. And when it comes to transfer ranking, it was 27th. So they had 23 guys that signed, 14 from California. 9 transfers. And I mentioned the few of them right there. But they're pretty happy down in Tucson. So Wildcat fans, they're pretty excited. They got a lot of guys by position. They went deep on defensive line, 5 guys on defensive line, 4 guys on offensive line. I think Jed Fish is going to do a good job down there.
Wouldn't it be nice for a change? And because we've had so many years of bad football, wouldn't it be nice if both schools are battling for the top spot in the Pac-12?
Real quick, when you look at the Pac-12 overall, USC was 6th in ranking when it comes to National Intent Day. 1st overall in transfer
portals.
They had 20 transfers and 8 guys they signed. 2nd was Oregon, 16 and 24 when you look at the rankings. Then it was Arizona, 25-27. And then you're looking at Stanford, it was 27 in enrollees, but 117th to transfer. You can't transfer to Stanford. You don't have the grades. You just can't get in there. But Utah, kind of middle of the road. Washington State, same thing. Colorado, 58 and 78. People thought that would be a higher or lower number because of Dion, but that wasn't the case. By the way, NAU, real quick, they added 10 players. Chris Paul, head coach there, doing a good job up there. 10 signees. 5 are within the state. They got 3 from Texas, and they got a couple from California. Good for them. We'll watch out for them. I got to support those guys. So coming up, NFL, Google announced the Sunday ticket. And who is this new owner for the Suns? We're going to talk to the sports professor, Rick Horrow, next as we continue from Twin Peaks in Tempe. It's Fox Sports 910. He is actually doing something which I wish more people would do, is not talk on their cell phone on an airplane. He's on the tarmac.
He is.
In Orlando, I think, or Miami, somewhere in Florida. And we did not want to bring him on while he is doing sitting on the airplane.
I hate that.
Probably in first class to get away with it. But that is almost as bad as being in the grocery store with the woman. It's always a woman. I don't care. You liberals and conservatives or whatever you are that have a problem with it. But it is the women.
It is.
It is totally the women.
And here's the worst part is that they're not even putting the phone up to their ear. They just have it out in front of them, so you hear the other person as well.
Yeah, when it's on the speakerphone, that's a
problem. Man.
Absolute problem.
I hate that.
Hey, we're out here at Twin Peaks in Tempe, and pours from the North Pole. As Santa's little helpers are working through the 24th here.
Yeah.
Jax is in heaven.
Yes, oh my God.
Jax is in the demo.
He is in the demo, yeah.
He's totally in the demo.
Yeah.
We are giving away a backyard patio set. All you got to do is text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. I want to thank Coors Light and Blue Moon for having us here today. We were going to catch up with Rick Coro, talk about the NFL Sunday Ticket and all the future of that, because that is a big deal for a lot of you. So YouTube will pay an average price of roughly $2 billion a year to secure those rights.
It's amazing.
If you look at it, it's really not. Because DirecTV was paying $1.5 billion.
They were.
So it's not that much more.
No, but it's to me it just I thought it was amazing. 1.5 billion.
Yeah.
We're not talking million here. We're talking billion. And $2 billion for the rights to just the ticket.
There's a lot to this because it's the residential rights, it's the commercial rights.
Yeah.
So a source has said that the NFL will seek to license the commercial rights to the bars and restaurants for another $200 million.
Oh, man.
Now, YouTube has more than 2 billion monthly users.
Yeah.
At least 5 million subscribers or trial accounts for YouTube TV. So YouTube will offer Sunday Ticket as an add-on to your YouTube TV.
Okay.
And in the video platform's main app, through a service they're going to call Primetime Channels. That'll allow viewers to subscribe to individual channels, which I think many of you would love to be able to just buy what you want to buy.
I'm with you.
And I don't know why it's taken this long to be able to say, hey, there's 20 channels I want to buy, and they're $5 a channel, and all right, my bill's $100 a month.
That's it,
and I'm done with it.
Yeah,
well, I was telling Jimmy too. Like, I only watch cable for sports, so give me NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, ESPN. That's all you need, and TNT for basketball. That's it.
Yeah,
just 6 channels.
So I recently got rid of my Dish Network. I've had them all.
Yeah,
I went from Direct to Cox to Dish to now back to Cox, and then the reason why is Dish does not have Bally Sports,
right?
So you can't watch.
Pac-12?
No. Pac-12 you can watch on Dish.
Oh, you can't.
You can't watch Bally Sports.
Oh,
Bally Sports is Suns.
Yes,
and the Coyotes.
Yes.
So that was, and not to mention, Brad Sesmat's show. I mean, there's some really good shows on there. A lot of local stuff as well. So I just said, hey, I'll pay a few bucks more to have Cox and deal with their incredible service. And be able to, at least get my sports. And I think many of you who had cable before you switched to, either a streaming service, it's easy. 33 is ESPN, 34 was Fox Sports Arizona. I mean, it was easy. And so I'm excited, now I don't have to worry about it. I have it, and it works out well. But now I don't need to buy the Sunday Ticket. I'll never buy the Sunday Ticket because I'm the guy that goes to the bar on Sunday.
Okay, I had to buy it because of what I was doing, but I've had DirecTV for so long. Now I'm getting it for free as part of my package. They offered it up
to keep you.
To keep me.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, you don't have it anymore.
No, I don't. so I'm going to have to go shopping. What's it mean for a place like Twin Peaks? Because they're on DirecTV because they have the ticket here.
So I was talking to another bar owner actually before I came here.
Okay.
And
why does that not surprise me? He's hanging out.
And literally, we were talking about the Amazon rights on Thursday.
Okay.
And this year, Amazon allowed DirecTV to carry
They did.
Amazon. They're not going to continue to do that.
Mm-mm.
So, because they paid $1 billion for that.
Yeah.
So why would you just say, all right, DirecTV, go ahead and do it? You want people to download Amazon Prime or own Amazon Prime and be able to do that.
Correct.
So I'm anxious because the last NFL package to land a media rights renewal, CBS, Fox, and NBC last year agreed to pay more than $2 billion annually for these 11-year packages.
Mm-hmm.
Then Disney, they paid $2.7 billion for Monday Night Football, and then I talked about what Amazon did, which was $1 billion. The money's just crazy.
It is. That's what I'm shaking my head about.
But it's gotten to the point where it's all over the board, though.
I know.
It's like,
so
to our point earlier, you should be able to just a la carte what you want.
I'm with you on that. So when do the streaming services become too many and they start to die?
I don't think it's gonna die.
You don't think so?
I think it's the future. It's just easier. You can watch on your phone, laptop.
I don't want to watch on my phone. I don't want to watch on my laptop.
A lot of people.
I would never do that. Why do you think I have a big screen, high def TV?
But you're not the demographic, Jimmy.
Well, I know.
I mean, so he is. I mean, a 22, 23-year-old.
Yeah, he's watching.
He's watching on his phone.
My point is, why do I want to watch it on a tiny screen when I have the opportunity to watch it on a 65-inch TV?
Maybe you're in the airport, or maybe you're doing something else. Just
I'll go to the bar in the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, I got options here. Okay, look, I'm an old rat bastard, but I am far from being out of the loop when things take place. I'm just asking, if there are so many streaming services, when does it get to the point where you're paying for 15 different streaming services?
Well,
I mean, I can see that coming.
And I think where it's going to really affect is how they figure it out with the bars and restaurants.
Yeah, that's the key.
And what if the internet goes down? Like, you think about this weekend.
I hate it when it buffers.
Yeah, and you look at the weather.
Yeah.
Here are the current estimates.
Okay.
For the feel like temperature for kickoff on some of the games, outdoor games this Saturday.
Oh, this is good.
Bills at Bears -17.
Yeah.
Seattle at Chiefs -6.
Yep.
Saints at the Cleveland Browns -9.
Mm-hmm.
Nashville, it's going to be 5 degrees for Titans Texans. Ravens will be 7 degrees. And Pittsburgh -4. We'll catch up with Max Starks. He's the sideline guy.
Yes.
And I'll talk to him about that because I remember I went to the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game earlier this year in September. It was freezing. And he's on the sideline as a sideline reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm texting him. I'm at 300 level. He's wearing shorts. So I'm going to see if he's going to wear shorts this week.
Okay.
He'll join us about 2:30. But, yeah, I mean, you look at this weather, and if you have internet, there's a good chance that some of that stuff will go down.
That's my point.
These bars aren't going to be able to watch. You're not going to be able to watch these games.
And that frustrates the hell out of me, is because I hate the buffering. And if it happens like every 10 minutes, I'm done with the game. And
but it also depends on what kind of service you have.
Well, okay.
Manuch. I would say Manuch. Jimmy, because that's what Manuch probably he's got dial-up. But if you have a dial-up or you have a bad internet, I mean, I got the Giga Blast, whatever.
Yeah, I know you do. Yes. I have high-speed internet.
Okay. So you still buffer?
I
never have any issues. I never have any issues.
2 minutes.
Yeah, it still does. Like if I want to watch HBO Max during the middle of the movie, it'll buffer.
I'm sorry.
I don't experience that either. But
yeah,
maybe you got to move, Jimmy. Maybe it's the location.
I like your point, though, about how weather could play a factor in streaming services.
Interesting little note here with the new owner of the Suns.
Yes.
And another alum, Michigan State alum, Steve St. Andre, will donate a combined $24 million towards the salary of Michigan State football coach Mel Tucker over the next decade.
Yep.
You knew that?
I did know that.
That's nuts.
Because he went to Michigan State.
No,
he's a huge Michigan State supporter, and he was instrumental in keeping Mel Tucker there as the head coach. Yeah. We're in the wrong business. I mean, we could be freaking billionaires doing something else.
I think that's just crazy.
But it's Rock, there is so much money that is out there and out there to be made, and these guys were smart enough to capitalize on it. That's what they did.
Yeah, good for them.
Yes, exactly.
Coming up, our Valley Chevy random facts of the day, plus one of the biggest upsets in 3 decades in college basketball happened last night.
Yep.
It wasn't San Francisco and Arizona State. We'll have all that next as we continue on, as Jimmy's got to go to the bathroom for the 5th time. On Fox Sports 910.
A quick reflection.
God, Jimmy, that's got to make you like 80 something.
Close.
guys are at.
All right, let's get to it. On this day, brought to you by 72 Sold. 1983, Pete Rose wins the lawsuit against the IRS and is awarded just over $36,000, a tax refund from 1978. How about that? You probably called a lot of his games.
I'm trying to think.
Charlie Hustle.
But remember, he played in the National League, and when I was doing the Texas Rangers, I was in the American. I think that I did one, maybe two of his games because I filled in on a Cincinnati Reds broadcast when a guy was sick.
1999. I remember we were doing radio and an interview with Sports Illustrated, the magazine. Braves pitcher John Rocker.
Sure.
Offends virtually every race and ethnic group in what was a very hateful outburst. Now, there was no social media then, but community leaders and media and management and coaches and teammates all called for action to be taken. The guy was a superstar. 38 saves that year with the Atlanta Braves.
Awesome.
That was just nuts. But if that happened now, oh my goodness. John Rocker. He was like, everybody hated him.
He was
just
a big dude, too.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Like
He didn't give a you-know-what.
No, and he didn't. Probably weighed 220, 225.
Oh.
And he just, I'm coming in there. I'm going to bring it. And I don't give a rat's what you think about me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to take you back here, too. I'm going to play the sound because what this person did just a day after his father passed was amazing. And we're talking about Brett Favre in 2003. He ends up passing for 399 yards, 4 touchdowns. He moved into second place in NFL history at the time for career touchdown passes. He led the Packers over the Raiders 41-7. He passed Fran Tarkenton that day on the NFL career list with his 343rd career TD throw. Here's how the night started with former Sun Devil Al Michael, and one of his highlight touchdowns and how it ended.
Al Michaels with John Madden and Lisa Guerrero. Welcome to Oakland, where the overriding story took place yesterday afternoon in Mississippi when Brett Favre's father, Herb, drove off the road and died, apparently of a massive heart attack. And then, cruel as it is, Brett Favre had to make a decision. Does he play tonight or doesn't he play tonight? He has chosen to play. Stay timeout because of the unsuccessful challenge. And Favre going deep into double coverage, and it is caught by Javon Walker in front of 2 Raiders for a touchdown. This night will be remembered for Brett Favre. Period.
I remember working Monday Night Football.
Yep.
And you're just amazed.
I was stunned at that performance with what he just went through. Yep.
There's no way. And that was kind of the narrative is, do you play or not play, right?
Yeah.
And why would you or why wouldn't you? And and then when you see it afterwards, and there's the priest on the sideline.
Yes,
it was nuts.
It's Rock. To be honest with you, I'm glad that he played because for at least a short amount of time, it took his mind off of it a little bit. He had to focus in on something else. And then after that emotion and winning that game and the way that he performed, then I see why they had the priest on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Because then he lost it.
Yeah, totally.
But it was an unbelievable performance, not just the football game, but considering the circumstances around that game.
On this day is brought to you by 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. Home sellers, you need 72 Sold more than ever. Start off the new year with 72 Sold. There's no better way to sell your home than 72 Sold. You're making a mistake if you go the traditional route. They can sell your house in 8 days. 8 days. So let 72 Sold get you top market price for your home. Go to 72sold.com and get your price a higher price at 72 Sold. Our random fact of the day brought to you by Chevy, Valley Chevy Dealers. Got a few things I want to pass along. One is what happened yesterday in Iowa.
Yes.
Eastern Illinois shocked Iowa 92-83. They were a 31-point underdog.
Correct.
The largest upset in 3 decades. 3 decades. Wow. Now, no one talks about 2 key veterans that were out for Iowa, but that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You still lost.
Yes.
You still lost when you were supposed to win by over 32 points.
I will tell you this about Fran McCaffrey, who's the head
3.
coach there, is this happens to him almost every season. Where
Coming from an Iowa guy.
Yep.
The guy that spent a lot of time there.
I know Fran very well. And this happens to him more than it should. Even when he was the coach at Siena, it happened to him before he got the Iowa job. And for the life of me, I have no idea why, knowing that you're playing a nobody. Remember, we had that discussion in the first part of the show. Arizona's playing Morgan State. Was it why? Okay.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens if you wake up in the morning as a college player and think, I don't really have to do much tonight except show up. That's it. And that's what happened to Iowa.
2 minutes.
We talked about this, I don't know, maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
But the Massachusetts highest court is overturning a $5 million award to a couple over golf balls.
What?
From a nearby golf course that kept flying in their backyard. Now, this couple in Kingston sued for emotional harm over the 100 balls
100 golf
at
balls?
this golf course called Indian Pond Country Club. Now, the Supreme Court ruled that the trial judge made a legal error in the jury instruction.
Okay.
The case will return to court where the jury will now have to decide how many golf balls must be hit in their home before it's an intrusion.
I've never heard of anything
How whacked is that?
crazy in my entire life.
Hey, real quick, ESPN Plus is raising their price of UFC pay-per-view
1 minute.
fights to $79.99.
Yep.
For all you that love to watch that. So,
I called you. I called fights. I called it only because they paid me well. I'm just not a big fan of it.
I used to be in MMA when there was one fight a quarter.
Okay.
And you would go to the bar that would have it, or the restaurant or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
and you're watching it with your friends.
Yes.
Now it seems like there's one
Every weekend.
single week.
30.
I think they hurt themselves by doing that. Hey, Coach Peters is going to join us. Max Starks is scheduled to join us. Also, you'll have a chance to battle it out and challenge one of the Twin Peaks girls here at Tempe location, as we've got a busy second hour coming as we continue thanks to Coors Light and Blue Moon. Santa's Little Helpers are here
10
through the 24th at all 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 19.
Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On
Guys are hot.
Sports 910.
Cardinals are down another quarterback. Suns wrap up the 4-game homestand tomorrow, and the Yotes lose again. Welcome in, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Roc and Jimmy B and Jax out here at the Twin Peaks in Tempe. Be here for another couple hours. Appreciate you hanging out with us as you are getting some last-minute shopping done, hopefully, and dealing with all that traffic, both inside and outside, wherever you're at. A lot of traffic on the roads, and just, if you think about it, just count to 10 once in a while.
Yes.
And you'll make it through the day, because there are a lot of people that are quite moody this time of year.
Is that the way you're going to describe it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moody.
Okay, fair enough.
It's understandable.
Oh, no,
holidays bring a lot of stress.
A lot of pressure. Yeah.
And the economy's not as good as it used to be. And people are hard times for a lot of people, so it adds to this stress, I'm sure. So we're thinking about those people.
Gas prices are down, so that's a plus. I like that.
Yeah, $3 now,
Yeah,
$3.06.
Yeah, you
good.
At least you can drive someplace.
Get it
now.
down. Keep it going.
Yep.
The House has passed a bill that ensures equal compensation for U.S. women competing in international events.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a piece of legislation that came out of the U.S. women's soccer team's long battle to be paid as much as men.
Correct.
The Equal Pay for Team USA Act. It was passed yesterday. It's going to require all athletes representing the U.S. in global competition to receive equal pay and benefits in their sport, regardless of gender. Now, it's going to cover 50-plus national sports. It's going to it's something I knew it would get passed eventually in a world we live in. But for someone who does sports marketing for a living.
Yes, you do.
As a business person, I just don't know how the numbers work because no one goes to the women's games. No one wants to advertise on the women's games or buy the banners.
It's not like you haven't tried to sell it. You have.
And no, I've never tried to sell women's.
Oh, you didn't?
Women's.
Okay.
Because I just know.
Okay.
I mean, look at it. WNBA has to borrow money every year from the NBA to survive.
Yeah.
And it's just men's soccer you're going to pay to watch. Women's soccer, unless you are involved in that sport, your kids play that sport, you are someone that daughter plays in that sport, then you have vested interest in it. But that's such a small percentage.
Okay.
That I find this just so hard to believe that it went through, and I don't know why. I don't know.
You're scratching your head.
Yeah, because it's so political. It's so damn political.
Let me help you with this a little bit. I get the statement about WNBA and the women's soccer leagues that are now here in the United States. But on the international level, for the longest time, the most popular international team was the United States women's soccer team.
Because they had success.
They had great success,
yes.
And so people always would watch their games. Now, I get why they fought for it. I just don't see, and I'm with you on this, how it translates to other professional women's sports.
True. I understand why they went for it,
yes,
and why they battled for so long.
Correct.
And they want the identical pay structure.
Yes.
But if they're not bringing in the same money as the men are bringing in,
or at least something,
then why should they get paid equally?
Well, that's the big wrangle.
Because I guarantee the CEO of XYZ company,
right,
that's trying to reach a particular demographic in sports,
mm-hmm,
if I hand them a PowerPoint presentation, men's soccer U.S. or women's soccer U.S., there's unless unless they have a female product that they're trying to push.
Okay.
Let's just say it's
a generic product.
Generic product.
Okay.
The numbers aren't there. You can't justify spending that money on women.
Well, no. Are you talking about the leagues or are you talking about the Olympic team? You have to separate.
Well, what leagues are there in women's soccer?
There is a.
They get that 900 people a game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said I understand the translation to the women's USA soccer team because they are extremely popular and they do get big numbers on TV. But when you attend a women's soccer league game just in the United States, they dwindle. Women's tennis was a very hot product for a long time. The Williams sisters kept it going, but now that is going to dwindle because there is not an American USA women's star player. Now, you've got a couple of players that are coming up in Coco Gauff and a few others, but there's no Chrissy Everett. There's no Venus Williams. It doesn't translate that way, at least for me. And I think that's what rubs your rhubarb the wrong way.
Yeah, I guess as a marketer, I just don't see the value.
Right, there you go.
I don't see the value. Now, it's a little bit of a different animal when you're talking about the Olympics and women, to your point, success. And I think when you look at TV ratings, the big games, the final game, typically I've seen it's done much better ratings because the guys aren't even in that final game.
There you go.
So you can't really judge it because I'm looking at 2019.
Yeah.
And a first game with USA men in Ecuador, okay, on ESPN2.
Yeah.
Did 419,000 people
There
watch.
you go.
Now, for women, in their inaugural or their first game in their deal was USA Spain on ESPN2, did half, 200,000.
Right. Half. I know that. But
that's viewership.
Yes, but you get into the knockout rounds and the finals. The men, just for the first time in a long time, made the knockout round. Okay.
And the ratings were really
good. And the ratings were really good because they were competitive. Once again, it goes back to being competitive. And the women's USA soccer team, not only have they been competitive, they've been winners. They've been gold medal winners. That's my point.
I can't argue U.S. women's national team and the success they've had versus the men.
But that separates it then from where you were. And I understand your point.
But when you look at all the other sports, not sports, but leagues,
yes,
it's a horrible buy.
Exactly.
I think it's got to be an exception depending on which league. It shouldn't be like a universal for everyone. It's got to be what your league.
It's got to be women's national team versus men's national team. That's it.
I'm good with that.
Because we know when it comes to women's tennis versus men's tennis.
Yes.
Well, some more of the, I call them non-revenue type sports.
That's fine.
The ones in college didn't make any money for the schools.
Hey, don't be talking about me on the tennis court.
No, I'm just saying. I mean, you look at college athletics, and there's only 3 sports that make money.
That is correct.
Or actually 2. That's NFL, or it's football and basketball. And now you see a little bit of women's basketball, and then maybe some baseball. But outside of that, you don't see anybody making any money.
No, you're right. You're right. I understand from a marketeer's standpoint, but I see the separation when it comes to international competition, or I should say world competition.
I guess I just got a sour.
I
got sour because of how the women went about it.
Okay.
And some of the individuals, the players,
I get
that,
you.
Kind of went on this. I don't know what you want to call it.
No,
but
they had a little tirade. That's what they had.
And I think if they didn't do that, maybe I would have a little more respect for them.
Okay.
And I just don't.
Okay. That's fine.
My prerogative.
Yeah, it is.
People don't have to agree with it, and I don't care if they do or not. That's one thing I'm still not going to be PC about. Freedom of speech. I believe in it, and if you don't like my opinion, don't listen to me. I care less.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to be here tomorrow no matter what. So,
and I'm going to be sitting next to you.
So, that's what's so great about, listening to the radio. You can jump around. You can do what you want.
Well, that's
you don't have to agree with everything that someone says.
I agreed with your point. I just didn't agree with the women's USA soccer team. That's the separation.
Real quick, Messi
Yes.
his Instagram post.
Yeah.
Celebrating the World Cup over the weekend.
So
it's now the most liked post with over 65 million. That was through the 20th. Today's 22nd.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Did you see the post where he's sleeping with the trophy? It's awesome.
The fact they had to freaking get a helicopters to get him out of there.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
And when he came, they
still don't get it. I still don't get it.
I know you
I
don't.
just don't get it.
I know you don't, but
it's a cult.
It's
a cult following with soccer.
It's the world sport.
I know.
It's not the United States sport.
I understand it,
It's
but
the
I only know the sports that I watched growing up.
I'm well aware of that.
But it's funny. My whole family, my sister, son, and my nephew, all my relatives, they are season ticket holders for the MLS team in Carolina, and that's all they talk about. They said, I was at Thanksgiving, and they're like, the World Cup was going on, and they're like, we would rather watch this than an NFL game on Sunday.
Oh my God!
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. What? Now I'm doing that with you. What?
Seriously?
Yeah. I will tell you this though, is that what you saw in the final of the World Cup is not your typical soccer game.
Exactly.
That is.
But it was also just the last 10 minutes. It was. Argentina dominated the first 80 minutes. Plus?
Yes, it was phenomenal what took place. But as I've talked about it, the way the rules are set up, it discourages scoring, and it embraces kicking the ball around at midfield, which Americans go, what the hell is this? I want to see the ball in the net.
Yeah.
I would love to see a 7-5 game or a 5-4 game. Now you felt like you paid your money and you got to see some excitement.
But isn't there something that I'm not? Everybody likes shootouts, I guess.
I like
them. But you bust your ass for 90 minutes plus, and then it comes down to your goal.
How else can you?
Same thing
how
in
else
hockey.
can you do it? It is. How else can you do it?
You play until someone scores.
But then you're talking about guys possibly getting serious
You got
injuries.
10 guys on that bench.
I'm well aware of that.
I'm
just referencing.
That's what I'm saying. It
that's
comes
the
down to
process.
One guy trying to. I don't know what the length of that. The
penalty. The penalty kick.
Jeez,
But it's great.
In those cases, it's easier to score than not score.
It's great though when the goalie makes a save.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
No, that's the best part about it because when the goalie makes the right play,
speaking of goalies,
it's awesome.
Speaking of goalies, should the Coyotes trade their goalie?
Oh boy,
I'll tell you why. Because I think they should, and we're going to catch up with former Coyotes assistant coach Steve Peters, and we'll talk about that along with last night's game and this team just in general. It's Fox Sports 910.
This
Time now to go behind the mask and on the ice with former NHL coach and current NHL insider, Coach Steve Peters. Now here's Coach Pete on Sports 910 on FM at 99.9 HD2.
Coach Pete joins us, part of Go PHNX and Walking with Petey, a great new segment that he has. And he joins us now, and I got to kind of get this out right away. Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's wrong, Rock?
So for those of you just joining us, Coach Pete is my neighbor, about 2 houses over, okay? And he kind of, he walks around the neighborhood, kind of like one of those neighborhood watch guys.
Oh, sure.
He knows everything's going on. So typically the black trash can guy, the trash guy comes on Thursday mornings.
Okay.
And lately I've been not getting it out. So I put it out Tuesday.
Okay.
Or Wednesday morning.
Okay.
I put it out Wednesday morning. I came home last night at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and someone took my trash can and put it back inside my house. So then I had to pull it back out. So it's ready today. Was that you is what I want to know.
First of all, it wasn't, but it probably should have been, because if you read the HOA, that can't go out.
I was gambling. I would have accepted the fine because I'm going 3 weeks with my black trash can full. So I figured I did not want to miss, because they come at 5 in the morning and you got to get up. But for some reason today, when I left at 11, they hadn't come yet. What's going on in our neighborhood?
I know. And I will tell you this. There was very concerned. Your next door neighbor was very concerned, and he might have reached out to somebody. There was a truck problem. It has since been dumped, and I will pull it back in behind the gate as soon as the show's over.
So did they come today?
Yeah, he just said that.
They did, okay.
They did.
So you think my other neighbor, who's the police officer, is the one who took the trash can full from the street and put it back in my side?
I think he may have.
Wow.
Well, at least you didn't get a ticket.
I didn't mind it. I wanted to. I didn't care if I would have got a warning. I wanted to get my trash because I had more stuff that I'm holding out in my garage to put in there. Anyway, how you doing there, Coach Pete? You good?
Yeah, we're doing really good. It's Christmas time. In-laws just rolled in, so the fun begins today.
Okay.
So can I make a case that for the Yotes, who are right now they're only the fifth worst team in the league right now, but they need to be like the worst team, so they could get the number one pick in the Connor Bedard that everybody keeps talking about. But goaltending has been just outstanding for them right now. So wouldn't it make sense to trade
Karel Vejmelka.
Melka right now. Melka, yeah, thank you for saying
Vejmelka.
that.
Yep.
Wouldn't it make sense to trade him because he's 9-9. He's playing really well.
You know what? It's funny because for the month of November, he was the number one goalie in the National Hockey League.
Yes.
It was not Shesterkin, not Vasilevsky. It was Karel Vejmelka. He is holding this whole ship together right now. There's no question about it. They win because of him. He is playing outstanding. The problem, if you trade him now, you'll have a team that has no hope, and that's really hard to do. To put that kind we can beat anybody. We beat Boston a week ago. We beat Toronto this year.
Yep.
You trade Karel Vejmelka, and you start learning.
We're losing.
You don't want your team to learn how to lose. So at least give them a chance. To be honest, I'm sure the management team would love them to be in games putting too many points. You talked about it already. If you don't get first or second, and now there's a third player in the mix, Leo Carlson, the top European, Jeff. If you finish 4th, 5th, or 6th, this is a loss for the Coyotes. Mm-hmm. This sets them back a very long time when the point was to lose. So, yeah, it's hard. I mean, I know players want to win and coaches want to win, This is not the time to do that.
All right.
And so there's 50 games left. They still have to try to find a way to lose.
Okay. Would you then end up trading him before the playoffs begin in an effort to get something for him? And you would, and then maybe go on a losing skid that puts you in a more desirable position for the NHL draft.
And it's a maybe. But here's another thing, though. This mix is going to get ruined anyway. Players like Jacob Chikrin, Shane Gostisbehere, Nick Ritchie, potentially Nick Bukestad. There are guys that are going to be leaving this team before the trade deadline, and that's going to make it difficult for them to win. The other side of it is Bill Armstrong doesn't give assets away. So if you want a player that, like Karel Vejmelka, that can help you, you're going to pay a premium for that. So it's going to be closer to the trade deadline when a team is desperate. If there is a team that thinks they have a chance to win and their goaltender gets hurt, don't be surprised that Karel Vejmelka's name jumps to the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean, Vejmelka has been playing so well. And, I know 9-9 doesn't sound great, but when you're looking at what the team you have, you brought up, Jacob Chikrin, a guy who sounds like he's been kind of disgruntled. Why is it taking so long to move him?
Well, the biggest problem with him is he didn't start the season. He was on the IR to start the year, and he didn't play. So he needed to get a body of work, and players go, okay, he's okay. He's played 15 games now. He's averaging almost a point a game. He's got 13 points in 15 games, and he looks like he's back to the Jacob Chikrin that played 2 years ago. He is not going to last long. Again, it's about the high price for Bill Armstrong is asking, and it's going to take someone desperate like the Toronto Maple Leafs to get involved with this. But Jacob Chikrin will be gone. He's playing good on both sides of the puck. He is not going to survive the trade deadline, and I would anticipate it much sooner than that.
How do you put this team together with what they have, Coach? And they appear, even though last night's game they gave up all those goals in the third period, but they have been competing night in and night out. Is that just really good coaching and a willingness by those players to buy in?
There's two things. You have a strong core of players that believe in the state of Arizona and the Arizona Coyotes. Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, Lawson Krause, Kristen Fisher, and Chikrin to some extent, that have been here for a very long time. And they've bought into it. They want to succeed here. But make no mistake, this coach, Andre Tourigny, makes it fun to come to the rink. He's okay. I don't want to say okay with losing, but he takes small wins as long as they're competing. And this team does exactly that. They believe now, and that's dangerous when a team believes, and they've beaten some good teams. They've pulled together. Everybody's pulling on the same rope. It's a different player that does something great every day and every game. It's someone different. Mm-hmm. And I think all of that is coming together potentially at the wrong time. Last year, you didn't see that. You saw a team off the rails and losing, but big on games. It's not happening this year. This team believes they can win.
Coach, how much is that on coaching? How much do you give credit to the guys up top?
A lot. A lot. And I talked to Rick Tocchet about this, and I love Rick Tocchet, and Rick Tocchet was the coach here before. If he was coaching this team, and you were fourth or fifth from the bottom, he would be extremely frustrated. It would be a difficult place to work. He'd be putting things through the wall. Andre Tourigny doesn't do that. He still makes it an environment that guys are happy and want to go to work every day, and that's hard to do. So I think he's the right coach at the right time.
So overall, when we first talked to you before the season started, you said this team is bad. This team is not going to win a lot of games. That maybe set a record in points, and lack of points.
Lack of points.
So here we are, 30-plus games into the season, and what kind of grade would you give them?
Well, for what they've put on the ice and the players they've had, this team is a solid B. I think that they still have difficulties defending. They're still towards the bottom in goals against and shots against, so they don't defend extremely well. So I can't give them a full A, but for what they're putting on the ice every day and as competitive as they've been doing well beyond what expectations were for the team. Matter of fact, another name we haven't talked about is Michelli. He's a kid that nobody heard of a year ago. He's second in rookie scoring right now. Second. Like, this is a guy that is now in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, which he won't win because he plays here. But he has got leads rookies in assists, and he's second in points. So there are bright spots, even when the season is so miserable.
Coach, you got 30 seconds. What's the next Walking with Petey? What's coming up next?
Well, I wanted to do one before Christmas, but this team never practices. So we were going to try to do it today. It's going to be next week. Keep your eye out for Barrett Hayton next week for Walking and Talking.
All right.
Love it. It's Steve Peters. You can catch him at GoPH and X as before and after every game. That's where you want to go to get everything Coyotes. And you keep a watch out on that on my trash cans, all right, Coach?
I'm going to get it literally right now. I promise it's beautiful out here. I am walking to your house right now.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. It's Coach Steve Peters joining us here.
Take care, guys.
Okay. Merry Christmas with Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B. We're going to catch up with two-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steeler Max Starks. Want to get his thoughts on the passing of Franco Harris. The Steelers. He's also calling the Guaranteed Rate Bowl for ESPN. He'll be doing that game, which is Wisconsin, Oklahoma State. So we'll catch up hopefully with Max next, since he's got a bunch of responsibilities for the bowl. He's also a fellow Yellow Jacket. He's a new kind of, he still has to give me coffee for a while. He's only year one.
All right.
So I think he just got his Yellow Jacket.
He's your runner, is what
yeah,
you're telling
he's my runner, Max Starks, Super Bowl champion. I'm going to ask him if he lets me wear a Super Bowl ring. We'll come back from Twin Peaks Tempe. It's Fox Sports 910.
McDonald's TV commercials while playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Charlie, yeah? Never said anything about using a kicker. Never said I couldn't.
Two-time Super Bowl champion
Guys are hot.
Matt Starks, a.k.a. The Undertaker, now joins Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910 on FM at 99.9 HD2.
We got to add ESPN radio analysts, color analysts, Steelers sideline analysts,
all around
ESPNU,
yeah.
And now, Fiesta Bowl yellow jacket. As Max Starks joins us down the right to the guest side. What's up, Max? How you doing, buddy? What's happening?
I'm here at Chase Field setting up for the Guaranteed Rate Bowl that I'm actually going to call as well. And I'm looking for you, Rock. Where are you at?
He's with me at Twin Peaks. Well, Max, if I'm not mistaken, you're a new yellow jacket, correct? I mean, this is what, year 2?
No, this is year 2.
Yes.
I was Rookie of the Year last year.
Yes.
And so I'm now a full-fledged member in the club. I got my Dakota ring.
Yeah. So, I'm 25 plus years, number 1 in fundraising this year. I've done all that.
And every year.
Yeah. And so it's like, I've paid my dues, and I no longer have to be at the end of the parade cleaning up all the horse stuff, manure. So I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
That's what the young guys like you get to do, the newbies, right?
Which I will still not do, and that's why I didn't show up this parade.
Hey, Max, it's true story.
In case they handed me a shovel.
Max, this is true. It's the 30 plus years I've been around the bowl. Last year was the first year I ever went to the parade, so I had never been. So I get a lot of crap for that. Hey, my biggest question is I had an opportunity to see you in action at the Browns Steelers game earlier this year. You're on the sideline wearing shorts, being an athlete. All right, so this weekend with Steelers, it's going to be a little cold out there.
Chilly.
-5. You going with shorts?
No, I'm going with press box. I'm going to wear the entire press box.
Come on.
No. What's funny is I'm taking my ski bib. There because it's yellow. I'm going to wear that. My long johns.
That's right.
I have my ski coat, and then I'm going to put my little Steelers beanie on my head.
I mean, this is tough. A guy from Orlando, but you played in that weather, that cold weather. I mean,
I would say I played in it, but it's different standing in it.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a player. So it's like I do have to worry about my feet getting frozen and everything else. So, it's going to be a good negotiation, a good challenge for me come Saturday night.
It will be. Max, since you did play there and you've been in that weather before, what is it like then for players to make that adjustment and not only have to play, but also have to deal with the conditions?
It is one that's probably one of the toughest that you have to do with mentally, because the common factor is, guess what? If you're cold, the guy across from you is cold. So now that you got that out the way, now it's about who is going to make the other person more miserable in this process.
Okay.
And you have to go in with the mentality that we're both pissed off. We're both cold. It's frigid. We don't want to hit each other, but we have to. And it's like, well, if I got to hit you, then I'm going to hit you as hard as I can, and I'm going to make it as tough as you as possible. And then when you hit the ground, you got to lay on top of them as well. So you get that. So you get the emasculation on top, and then the bottom, your back is literally freezing on contact. Because the thing about that weather on natural grass surfaces, that ground is frozen solid. I mean, you can't get any footing, and if you do get footing, it's just kicking up and like just when you have mud under your shoes and you like clap them off, and
yes,
those clumps just fall off. Like that is exactly what the ground is when you dig those cleats into it. It's just clumps that fly up, so you never really get true footing. Got to switch your spikes out to make sure you have the field turf cleats, because it's going to be a slippery surface, and it's so cold that it can't snow. So therefore, the air feels still, and we all know that's one of the things. It's the frightening thing. You're like, man, this is frigid cold. Like the wind is scared to blow because it's this cold.
All right,
that's what you're up against mentally.
Okay, is this an argument then for field turf, or is field turf worse than playing on natural turf in that kind of weather?
So my thing is that the disparity between field turf companies that place the surfaces on the fields, because each, just like grass, right? Grass has so many different seeds. There's a whole science in and of itself. Do you use Kentucky? Do you use Bermuda?
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. All these different versions. If you standardize what the turf is, and then you make every stadium have to conform to the same turf standards, then you now have an easier way of dealing with it. Because let's face it, this weather is not ideal for grass. Nothing can grow in this weather. Nothing can be soft in this type of weather. But at least if you have the field turf, as long as there's no water involved, as far as moisture, you're still going to get the sponginess of grip from the field turf than you would on natural grass. So that's where my argument lies, is that it's not necessarily about the turf, but it's about the different types of brands. Because I remember, I played in turf in Baltimore, and it was like a kind of a tighter, almost like Astros type turf. But then you go to St. Louis, which is in a dome, and it's like this reflective, like slick type of like grass, like that you would put in like Easter egg baskets,
Yeah.
and that's a different type. In fact, the pyros went off on the field and it melted the grass in the corner of the end zone.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yet Baltimore does it every week, and they've never had a problem. So that's where it is. It's a difference in standards on what you're using as that playing surface. I think because you have so many different teams and everything has a different surface, that's where the disparity comes, and that's why you just say, hey, get rid of all the field turf in general.
Steeler Super Bowl champion Max Starks joining us here on Fox Sports 910. So, Max, you do radio in Pittsburgh as well. Talk about the last couple of days, how tough it's been to talk about the passing of Franco Harris. It's been, I'm sure, just unbelievable.
Yeah. It has been tough the last 2 days. For me, I had a really personal relationship with Franco. He was one of the first Steelers I ever met when I got to Pittsburgh. And also, he really became a great friend. In fact, I was an ambassador for his bakery. He had done a program called Super Donuts to help school children that were, in low income situations that couldn't afford, quality meals. He wanted to put a meal in there, and so he created a donut that was protein, fiber, and infused in school. So I was an ambassador for that program for 5 years for Franco, and we used to share grape leaves down at the Point at a festival every year in the summer. And I'd just seen him last month at the Ring of Honor and the Hall of Honor Museum opening. And we were actually, funny enough, we were making sure we had each other's cell phone numbers correct and up to date, because he was coming out here and we were going to do some events together, and he wanted to come over to the house to meet the family. And so, yeah, it was really tough losing him, just because, and knowing how much he gave. He gave way more than he took in his lifetime. He was one of the most beautiful people you could ever come into contact with. A man who, if you didn't know him and he didn't know you, and you came up and you engaged him, he literally dropped whatever he was doing and would engage you for 10 minutes and would give you his time and made you feel like you were the only person in a room full of people. And that's just the special nature that he had. And he did that for everyone. Even
2 minutes.
when he served on the Democratic caucus, and he was one of the voting members for the state of Pennsylvania with the DNC. I mean, just a tremendous, tremendous man. And I can't even do enough justice of what a loss he was. Because, I mean, he's a man who lived in Pittsburgh, lived right in the same neighborhood that he lived as a player. He made himself available. He never shied away. Everything was always a smile. I never saw him upset ever a day in my life. And I've met him, I've known him a lot over the last 20 years. So to lose him when, he's about to receive his roses, it's a gut punch. It's a true gut punch, and hopefully they do something really special.
Yeah.
Now that he won't be there, they'll kick it up a notch for him.
Okay, that was going to be my follow-up question. When I worked in Pittsburgh at Channel 11, I used to play tennis with him in different celebrity events. So I was just crushed when I heard the news. My point is, and you just touched on it, how does it change what will take place on Sunday, or will it change anything, or do you know?
Well, the organization has not released what they're going to do yet. Art is still trying to process, because Franco was a really good friend of his. So for him, he's hurting as well as a lot in the Steelers organization. I imagine, it'll be up to Dana and Doc what their wishes are in this moment. But for the organization, they have to come up with something even more spectacular to have a moment of silence for him, but also how they approach this, because there was a lot planned already. So now, when you have this moment, what else are you going to do? And you've got a little over 28 hours to really find out what you're going to do. And I'm looking forward to it. I haven't heard anything. I'll find out at the stadium when I get there tomorrow. And start going through our pre-production stuff, because I usually do our stadium billboard pregame hit. So, finding out there what's going to happen. I know I already have my Franco Harris jersey that I'm gonna wear for the pregame intro hit.
Okay.
Wow. And yeah, so we're going to figure it out. Hopefully they release something by tomorrow.
Okay.
Hey, Max, thanks for jumping on last minute. I appreciate it, buddy. I wanted to hear that. I know you were tight with him, and appreciate you doing this for us. And I know you're slammed this week, and I'll see you next week when you get back. Stay warm when you go back, and I'm looking forward to watching you work the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. So,
all right, thanks, man. You guys take care.
See you, Max.
See you, Max. You watch from the hive.
Yeah, exactly. And then the suite.
Yeah.
So,
and then the suite on top of it.
Yeah, that's it. That's Max Starks. Appreciate his time as always. Follow him on Twitter, Max Starks 78. Of course, one of the busiest guys in sports, and a friend and someone who I think is one of the best in the business. Is getting better every single year. So good stuff. 602-260-9191. Time to challenge one of the young ladies here at Twin Peaks for a $25 gift card. Fifth caller, 602-260-9191. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from the Twin Peaks in Tempe. Thanks to Coors Light and Blue Moon. Brooke with us, who's with us every single time we're at Twin Peaks.
She is.
Tempe, and I believe she is undefeated. She's going to compete against Ken in Peoria. We're going to go quick because her bar is absolutely every seat's taken. So we got to go through this really quick. So we're going to get your picks first, Brooke, and then we'll go through it. I wanted to talk Pittsburgh with you and all that, but you're busy, so we'll get right to it. So first game on the docket is the Jaguars are at the Jets. It's going to be really cold. Jacksonville, all the guys that, they all live in
warm weather.
Yeah. Going into the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Who do you like in this one? Jags and the Jets. She's going with the Jets.
Turn her microphone.
Going with the Jets.
Yeah. Eagles at
wait.
Oh, what?
Ken in Peoria is also going with the Jets.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Eagles at the Cowboys. Jalen Hurts, their starting quarterback for Philadelphia, is not going to play. Gardner Minshew is their backup quarterback.
Guy with the big mustache.
Big mustache. He's a really good player. So, do you like the Eagles or the Cowboys?
Cowboys are favored.
Yes.
Are they? But I want to go with the Eagles.
Yes.
That's his team.
All right.
See if we can turn her up a little bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of low.
Yeah, she's going with the Eagles. All right, last one. And again, this is like the fastest Twin Peaks challenge we've ever done. Tampa Bay is in here. Sunday night football. The place is going to be a lot of seats will be available against the Cardinals. The winner and the score.
Definitely Tampa. Sorry.
Okay, you're going definitely
Cardinals.
Tampa in the score. You're going to yeah. Sorry.
I said sorry, Cardinals. Let's do 17-10.
17-10. Let me write that.
All right.
17-10. All right, and Ken is also going with the Cardinals, but he's going 25-14.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So I know you're busy. Sorry to interrupt you. I mean, we know
I
you're
love
busy.
The show.
Yeah, she loves the show.
Excited.
Yeah, you're the
guys
best.
So I mean, here it is. This is kind of a big crowd on people are out shopping.
Oh, yeah.
And are you here? I mean, they're closed on Christmas, but will you be here Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve, yes.
You
We're
will.
open actually 10 to 6.
Be packed, probably, right?
Yeah.
It'll be a busy day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting there last minute shopping.
Yeah.
You need a drink first.
Absolutely. Or after you spend all that money.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Brooke, Merry Christmas.
Yes,
Thank you
Merry
as
Christmas.
always. We always love having you on. So
Thank
we'll
you,
let
guys.
you get back to work since you're busy here.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
we'll
Brooke.
go from there. So there it is. Brooke, who's undefeated on the show. By the way, our listeners have won 9 times, and our Twin Peaks girls have won 7 times. But Brooke has gone undefeated every time.
Yes.
Which is great to see. And we want to thank Coors Light and Blue Moon because we got specials going on. Every Thursday kicks off the Thursday night game of the week. But here at Twin Peaks, Santa's Little Helpers, Brooke was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all here, all wearing their Christmas outfits.
Yes, they are.
As you may have just saw on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter as we are streaming.
Jax is working the room.
Well, you got specials going on all weekend.
Sweating, Jimmy.
But as she mentioned, opened a lot of places aren't open on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They are, all 4 Valley locations. So as she said, 6 o'clock, they'll be closed on Christmas Day. And you think about it, Cardinals Sunday night game.
Yes.
And you can't watch it. You're going to have to watch it at home.
Well, do you want to go and be there and watch the blowout?
No.
Okay. So you're going to watch it at home.
But you think about our market.
Yes.
Okay. Again, wearing the marketing hat.
All right.
This Christmas falling on Sunday with the NFL, it hurts business.
Yes, it does.
Because you're not. I mean, you think about the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The businesses have got hurt with the Cardinals' schedule. Not to mention they're bad.
Yes.
But they had a bye week, so that one Sunday had nothing.
Right.
Then you had a Monday night game, which was brutal.
Yeah.
Now you got a Sunday night game on Christmas, so nothing's open.
Do you think the NBA is going to play a factor in the NFL too? Because normally the NBA is known for playing on Christmas.
They win
not
the
the
day.
NFL.
Yeah.
I can tell you this. If you're watching the Jags and the Jets and it's a blowout, you're flipping to the NBA. And I think the Eagles-Cowboys game is obviously the most compelling game that day. But the Bucs at Arizona, if Tom Brady has thrown 3 touchdown passes and they're up 24-3, you're going to see a big turnout. The people will be gone, and they'll go to watching the NBA.
There's a lot of good matchups on Christmas Day.
There
in the
are.
NBA
They're great
too.
matchups.
Suns at Nuggets.
Suns at Nuggets. I can't wait for that. I want to watch that game. I want to see how they do and how they play against the
girl's
Joker.
not going to let you. She's going to be like, it's Christmas.
Oh,
and you
no.
need to spend time with me and the family.
No.
Yeah, play with your new gifts, whatever those are.
Yeah.
You know, put all the nice new shirts and sweaters away.
Yeah, if the
and
game's
the
on,
socks
I'm
and
in.
the t-shirts and everything
all
that you
the
get.
bright hats she's probably going to get
Yeah.
to Jimmy.
All that Travis Matthews gear that you're going to get and Jimmy O stuff.
That's Johnny O to you.
Jimmy O. Jimmy O to you. But no, seriously.
No, man, I'm dialed in. That's what I do for a living. What do you do for a living, Rock? You're a sports marketeer, but you also talk sports on an everyday radio show Monday through Friday. So it is your job to pay attention
I'm telling
to
you,
what is on.
There's a reason why I've never been married.
Or you're going to call me.
I've never been married because the women don't care.
They
don't care that I have to watch games on Saturday and
minute.
Sunday to do my job on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They don't believe that.
There you go.
They don't.
I know. You just.
Oh no, sorry, hon. I gotta go.
I gotta
go watch the Cardinals game at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna go watch it at the bar? Why can't you watch it here? I'm like, well, I just want to get the reaction of the fans.
At Twin Peaks.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I gotta have
Twin Peaks.
Santa's helpers. Come on.
Yes, and helpers. I mean, it all plays into it.
You're at the refreshment stand and you're enjoying the atmosphere.
Exactly. Well, we're going to talk about the Cardinal game with Howard Balzer. He is going to join us. We have our underdog picks of the week as well as the last hour is coming up. A Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks in Tempe. It's Fox Sports 910.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
No Manuch today's out doing some Christmas shopping for Jimmy B and I. That's it. I'm Roc. Got Jax with us as well. Got Ben holding up the fort at the iHeartRadio studios. Howard Balzer will join us in about a half hour. Get his take on Sunday night's game with Tampa in town and Trace McSorley as the starting QB for the Cards, which will be interesting to see how that all pans out. But we got our underdog picks of the week that'll come up in about 10 minutes. Looking forward to
I'm making
that.
a run. I'm making a run.
Are
now.
you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last week we were 3-2 as a group.
Yep.
And I lost. Manuch won. You won. Ben won. Oh, no, Richie won.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
And Richie's been he's rolling.
He is rolling.
When Ben's not there, Richie's undefeated.
Yeah.
So he's kind of carrying
He's
himself.
responsible for most of our losses.
So all I know, Ben, he better split the money with you. So if he's carrying you. So and then Jack's
Well,
lost.
Yeah, no shocker.
Well,
Bummer.
he's just a run.
We're also going to talk about our fantasies. We're in the playoffs, and we got a big battle this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Big battle.
Is it you and Jax?
Between Roc and Jax.
Oh,
yes. Boy. The thing is the prize to win our fantasy.
Yes.
Is a big screen television that I got from Best Deal AZ, Best Deal in town over in Tempe, and I don't need to win. I don't need the television.
Right.
So it's
then just forfeit your
no. We'll let the computer do its thing.
Yep.
And it's all there's no skill in fantasy.
What
it really is.
What is
you
the
prize? You let the team. I let the computer. Do my draft this year.
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm in the final game. I'm in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What is the prize for Fan Pick'em?
For who?
Me.
Nothing.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Twin Peaks gift card. I'll get you a Twin Peaks gift card.
Okay, because I'm leading that.
Are you overall?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
All right. Still get a fan pickup. You can win a $50 Twin Peaks man card.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's get into some of the stories that are making news today, which is brought to you by the Sportsbook at Casino Arizona. By the way, we will not be on the air tomorrow. Best of, I believe.
Yes.
And then Monday we are off the air. But we will be hosting Monday Night Football at Casino Arizona in the CAZ Sports Bar. But speaking of the NFL has confirmed that Google will be the next distributor of the NFL Sunday Ticket. Now, part of the agreement, YouTube TV and YouTube primetime channels will have exclusive rights to distribute the NFL Sunday Ticket in the United States starting next season. Now, the deal is reportedly an average of $2 billion annually for 7 seasons.
Wow.
And the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the price of the deal could increase with certain benchmarks that are reached. And the league will also look to somehow license, which won't be a problem, commercial rights in the restaurants and the bars like here in Twin Peaks for another $200 million. So the deal could be worth as much as $3 billion annually.
Wow.
DirecTV, which has had the rights since '94,
Yep.
they average about $1.5 billion per season. And it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays into things. Now, we find out today that the United States could host the 2030 Winter Olympics by default after another bid was called into question. Japan is pausing its promotion of the Sapporo bid, which bid while it reevaluates its stance on hosting. Now, there's a bribery scandal that was related to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, which was held in 2021 due to the pandemic, and it's causing Japan to question if they want to do it or not. So stay tuned on this one because it would be interesting if this would happen, and I would think it would be maybe, Salt Lake City or somewhere like that?
Salt Lake did a great job hosting it. You always have Denver is an option. as well.
They're also talking
Aspen
possibly
and Vail and
also
all of the,
talking about Vancouver, which would be obviously Canada, but at least it'd be North America.
Vancouver is a great mountain there as well. It's Whistler. I've skied that mountain. It's a great place to go.
So
and Vancouver is a terrific city, a fun city.
Salt Lake City is saying they would prefer to host the Winter Olympics in 2034.
Okay.
Because it would create a little bit more separation from the 2028 Summer Olympics, which is going to be in Los Angeles.
That is correct.
That's going to be a hot ticket.
Yeah.
Hot ticket.
Yeah, I'm counting on you, Mr. Marketeer, to get us press passes.
Talking about gambling, the World Cup final between Argentina and France was one of the most wagered sporting event in the United States this year. It generated 7.9 million geolocation transactions. It was this, so the second most wagered on final in the Super Bowl, right behind the Super Bowl, which was the Rams and the Bengals.
Right.
And more than the NCAA tournament, and as well as the finals when it was Boston and Golden State. So the desire for sports fans to wager on the World Cup final was a record, an absolute record. It did 16.8 million viewers on Fox.
Yep.
The most watched men's World Cup on English language American television. And you got to add Telemundo, too, with the Spanish language. That's another 5.5 million.
Oh, sure.
So
all I can tell you is that I was hoping that Argentina would win, and I got nothing against France. And they were trying to be back-to-back winners. But I just wanted Messi to win a trophy. And he is one of the greatest players in the world of all time. And that had not come to fruition for him. He'd been unable with Argentina to win the title. Finally, he breaks through. So now I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't care who wins. I mean, I'd love to have the United States, obviously, in that capacity. But I can tell you this right now. We had that earlier conversation about soccer. If you watch the USA men's team and then you watch Argentina and France men's teams, the talent level, Rock, is like night and day. It's not even close to the talent that is on the field for Argentina and France and the United States. It's just not. Now, how do you convince great gifted athletes in the United States not to play in the NBA, not to play in the NFL, not to play Major League Baseball? How do you convince them to go play soccer? Can you imagine LeBron James as a striker on your soccer team?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
It's not going to happen. They got to figure out something to get really gifted athletes to make that move to soccer.
So this weekend, this Christmas weekend, will be the coldest temperatures in a regular season in the National Football League ever, is what they're speculating now with this massive winter storm. Bitter cold. It's the winds that are going to be crazy. Life-threatening wind chills across most of the country, as we all know. We're all seeing it. But with highs only being in the single digits, it's going to feel like it's going to be below zero. Frostbite in minutes. And there are a lot of games that are going to be played in these open-air stadiums that Saturday could be a major risk, a major risk. And
this takes me back many years, and once I reference it, you will remember. You're old enough to remember it. Jackson isn't. In Cincinnati, at that time, the San Diego Chargers and the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think it was minus 30 when they played. I got to go back and look at the temperature, but it was unbelievably cold.
Bills, they can't seem to get a break.
No, they can't.
They're going to play in Chicago this weekend, where there are going to be snow showers. It's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. And they're going to have to worry about a Justin Fields, who has an insane rushing game, right? And I took every outdoor game under.
Did you? That's
this
a good
week.
move.
I just figured, hey,
going to run a lot.
People in Chicago, they're used to it, right?
But you never get used to sub-zero. You can handle 20 pretty well. Sub-Zero is
Yeah,
off the
Kansas
hook.
City is the same thing.
Yes.
Cleveland is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
They got the Saints in town.
Yeah.
Wind chill minus 13, winds 20-30. Steelers, who talked to Max Starks, who's going to be on the sideline for the Steelers, who works for them, minus 13 they're expecting. It's just it's unbelievable how cold it is.
It's one of those things where they call it the Clipper, and it just comes right out of the North Pole pretty much and rips through the midsection of Canada and then blows right into the midsection of the United States.
So the Steelers and Raiders game, I saw the stat that the Steelers are one of the better performing teams in the cold.
Interesting.
They got a winning percentage of 69% since 2018.
Wow.
As for the Raiders, they're on the bottom, a winning percentage of 31%.
I could see that. I could see that taking place. Look, no player, and you can ask any player, they don't like playing when it's cold. There's a couple of things that they can't stand. They don't mind playing in snow, and they don't mind playing in rain sometimes, as long as it's not a dramatic gully washer. But wind and cold, it just doesn't work when you're playing football.
No bueno.
So one of the coldest is the Ice Bowl in Green Bay in 67.
Yep.
And then the one you talked to about the Charger and Bengals.
Yep.
Well, that wind chill is, here it is, minus 59 degrees.
Oh, God, I thought I said minus 30.
59.
Oh, God.
Yes.
I was 30 degrees off.
1 minute.
Minus. So there's 8 games that kickoff will be below freezing. 8.
That changes
and we
the
all
dynamic.
We all love it because it's going to be 70 here in Phoenix. And everybody who bitches, how do you live in Phoenix? It's so hot in the summer. Yeah, whatever. Because we don't have to deal with that in the winter.
I'm excited to see what NFL player warms up shirtless. It seems like every year
they'll come
when
out.
it gets this
dumbass.
cold, someone, either a lineman, maybe Josh Allen will do it.
They'll come out. No
Someone's gonna do
sleeves.
it.
No sleeves. They might have a shirt on, but no sleeves.
Hey, it is great weather, and wouldn't it be nice to just go out and grill out on your brand new backyard patio grill? Well, maybe you need one. Well, your opportunity to win one is right now. Just text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. You'll be entered to win a custom backyard grill patio set, which is courtesy of our friends here at Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. You can enter once a day, and standard message and data rights apply. We'll be giving this away the week after the Super Bowl, so we'll have that for someone, hopefully, that maybe that Tuesday after Super Bowl, and give you an opportunity to customize it and get one in your backyard. So if you want to win, you got to play. Just text Peaks to 55678. Well, we're all about the dogs. Underdog picks are next as we're coming to you live from the Twin Peaks in Tempe, which is packed here on a what's today? Thursday afternoon.
Football tonight.
It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out?
Most weekend bettors prefer to lay their money down on favorites because they can't get their head around backing an underdog. Not Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. They're all about the dogs. Time now for the guys' dog
Guys are hot.
of the week on Fox Sports 910.
All right, we do it every week. We do our underdog picks of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And last week we went 3-2 as a group, so we had a solid week.
Yeah,
because we won at the end of the day, right?
That's all that counts.
So as you look at the current statistics of how we are all doing, as I try to pull this up,
I've got it right here.
Go
for
ahead,
it.
you can
all
run
right.
with it.
Roc
until
is
my computer has crashed.
That's fine. Roc is in first place with 10-5.
All right, I can take it from here. I just want to hear you say that.
Oh,
so say
here, let me do it in my best announcer's voice. Ladies and gentlemen, Roc is in first place with a 10-5 record.
That's right. That's good to hear. So I'm 10-5.
Yes.
Manuch is off today. He is 9-5.
Yeah, on your heels.
Jimmy right there at 8-7.
Yep, Jason.
Ben and Richie, team effort, they are 11-4.
See, I don't count that.
No,
We're just going to gloss over the best people that don't ever get recognized.
Because it's a double team. So that's why.
They did double the prep.
That's it,
Yeah.
Double the effort.
She doesn't text me and ask for the picks.
And then Jax is 4-10.
Jax. Oh, Jax.
Hey, it's better than 0-14.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
last week I lost the Tampa Bay Cincy game. Manuch won the Cowboys-Jacksonville game. Jimmy won the Bears-Eagles.
I did.
And then Giants was Ben's pick over Washington. And then Ravens and Browns was Jack's loss.
Yes.
So as we move forward into this week, let's get started.
Let's start with the guy who grew up playing tennis, and his dog Guinness beat him last year in the fan pickup.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Roc, you got a lock?
Yes, I do. The Bears, who are in the midst of a 7-game losing streak, they head into a game against the Buffalo Bills, who are 11-3. Mm-hmm. That's a Saturday game, Soldier Field. The spread, what we have right now, is 8. However, I'm seeing it in different places at 9.
Yes.
But I'm going to take the 8 and rely on Justin Fields' legs to make this game close. Now, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
But they're not going to lose by 8.
Interesting that you said that because that was my reasoning when I took them last week and getting 8.5 against the Eagles. Justin Fields' legs.
Fields. I really like him, man.
He's going to be fun to watch.
He absolutely is. So for Manucci, who's not here, of course he called in and then gave us his pick,
which is crazy because usually when you're not here, you're not supposed to make a pick. But I guess because his name's in the show,
yeah.
Makes sense.
Manucci, he's listening right now, right? Has he already texted you early because I said Scott instead of Steve Peters, or the other way around?
Yeah, he texted me. He's like, "Oh, my pick's in. Go Packers!"
All right, so Packers are in Miami. He's taking the Packers to cover.
I like that. I do like that.
Finally, he's not Jimmy the Greek, but he's been calling the game for over 40 years.
What about the dogs? What about the dogs?
Jimmy B, what's your underdog pick of the week?
Well, as I keep looking at the Baltimore Ravens, whom on the fan pick'em I picked to lose last week against the Cleveland Browns, and they did. Atlanta Falcons are coming in. They're playing their top rookie QB, Desmond Ridder, out of Cincinnati. He's going to be a very good quarterback. He got bounced around a little bit last week in his first start. However, now in Baltimore, there is no Lamar Jackson. Hundley is going to play again. He was dreadful in Cleveland last week. And Baltimore and Atlanta, they don't care for each other. It's a rivalry that has gone back for many years. Atlanta, you're going to laugh at this when I say it, still has a chance to win that division. Win the division. They are 5-8, and they still have a chance to win the division. So they got something to play for. So I'm going to grab the 7 points and take the Falcons against the Ravens in Baltimore.
Okay. All right, Ben, or is it Richie?
Yeah, who's there?
Should we call Richie and see if he can help you with your pick?
So for those that don't know, I needed a much-needed vacation from these guys last week. You guys have no idea what it is like working with these people.
That is true.
But as we come to the first place, Benjamin Garcia featuring Richie, we are going to take Eagles plus 5.5. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Maybe Vegas is all over it, and I'm not. The Eagles are a much better team than the Cowboys. The Cowboys are an average team at best. Dak Prescott always melts down when the lights are brightest. I don't think Gardner Minshew is that far of a drop-off from Jalen Hurts. So for that reason, I'll take the Eagles to outright win.
Yeah, Minshew's a good quarterback. He was a starter in Jacksonville and won games in Jacksonville.
And should I should I introduce Jax, who has his own gambling show, but's going to copy off me?
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ben.
You do have a show called Take Sports, and there's such a great show.
It is. It's
that
fun.
they're off the next 2 weeks, but it's so much gambling going on. Makes no sense that they can't work on Christmas Eve. Well, we got NFL football here on the station.
We do.
But next week, there's no reason why they should not be on the air on New Year's Eve.
I'm working the Fiesta Bowl.
What do you mean you're working it? You're going to it. You're going to get some sound.
You're going to sit in the press box
eat some
and
free
eat
food.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Hey,
I'm working it. You're not getting paid.
I'm going on assignment.
Yeah, oh, okay. So
he's learning.
So you want to just take my pick or Jimmy's pick or Ben's?
I'm going to go with Ben here. I'm going to go Eagles. I think, like he said, Gardner Minshew, he's a baller. He's been playing 30 games already in the league. And I think, with Mike Leach sadly passing last week, I think this is going to be a great game. He's going to dedicate it to the Pirate, throw for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Ben. The Eagles are a better team.
Oh, I think they're a better team.
Much better team.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm a Gardner Minshew fan. I loved him when he played at Washington State for Mike Leach.
All right, our fantasy football league is down to the final 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The championship bracket has Get a Piece of the Rock, which is my team, against Indebo I Trust, which is Jack's team. I'm 9-5 on the year. I'm the 4th seed.
Okay.
And Jax is the 1st seed at 13-1.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, and then home records 12-2. That's Kevin Rowe's team.
Woo!
It's going to face We Be Mixing Up Some Hurts, which is our good buddy Aaron Lee. He is 10-4, so they're going to go at it.
There you go.
Then there's some consolation brackets with Gross and Sam and Danny. Danny's dandy team. Really? Manuch? It's so cheesy.
Yeah, and Manuch beat Ben last week, so yeah.
Oh,
congrats.
yeah.
You're beating me in the
He's
dog, Ben, but
5-9 on the season.
What am I supposed to do about Kyler Murray, Cooper Kupp, Kenny Walker, Alvin Kamara, everyone?
Hey.
George Kittle was injured.
Hey,
The
I
whole team had the injured
will
zone.
gladly show you on my new 75-inch screen TV I get in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll look great in your bedroom at your parents' house.
It's actually only a 50. So, so in our Beat the Fox Sports 910 Pros,
Yes.
Jimmy B's first.
Yes.
2 minutes.
148 wins, or points, I should say. Bauer second. Gross is third, tied with me. So we're tied for third.
Yep.
Manuch is comes in fourth. And then it goes down to Ben, intern Barney, Darren, and then poor Jax.
I haven't looked at it in 2 months. I haven't looked at it in 2 months.
You letting the computer do the picks?
Yeah, I haven't done it. No.
Okay.
Too far behind. I'm not going to win.
You got to call your boy here, boy. I'll help you out.
Yeah, we'll
Call
make
me.
sure that we know that we got that on tape, that he's really participating with the team. And he's letting the computer do it. All right, we'll remember that.
Why would you admit that, Jax?
I have
it's
to.
like,
I
mean, I'll take it. Not a good year picking
But
guys, but I'll take it.
Anyway, as we mentioned, Bauer and Gross, who are also part of that show on Saturdays, tune in most Saturdays, to take the points. It's the only sports gambling show on radio here in the Valley.
It is.
It's at the CAZ Sports Bar. We'll be out
1
there
minute.
Monday night. It's on normally Saturdays 11-1, but they're off on the 2 biggest weekends of the year.
Makes perfect sense.
It does. All the bowl games, NFL, NBA,
Nothing to see
NHL,
here. Nothing to see
going
here.
on.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll catch up with Howard Balzer next. Get his thoughts on the Sunday night game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Arizona Cardinals. And Trace McSorley getting his first start. Been in the league for 4 years, but it'll be his first start we'll hear from him as well. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. McSorley is going to get the start. You got Kyler Murray out for the season. Colt McCoy, same thing. He is out, not necessarily for the season, but dealing with concussions. But there they are. You got to rely on a former 6th-round pick, 4th year in the league. It's to be his first career start, and it's against the GOAT in Tampa Bay's Tom Brady. Is this similar to what we saw with Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers and all the talk about him making his first start?
Brock
Any
Purdy
similarities at all?
No.
Probably not. He's been a rookie.
No, Brock Purdy's got a team around him that has absolute star power, and McSorley has a couple guys. That's it. And when I say a couple of guys, he's got a wide receiver in Hop, and he's got a running back, but that's about it. The offensive line has been decimated all season long. They've struggled defensively, and their offense has been so up and down. And, Rock, the thing that bugged me, I think, the most about this season, the inability to make adjustments as the game has gone on. They just can't make adjustments.
Yeah. And I think when you look at Trace McSorley and the expectations you have for him on Sunday night,
I have none.
Just don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all you can simply do, right? Just don't turn the ball over. Play safe. Hopefully they're going to just dumb it down for him and not get too blown out. But what if all of a sudden he goes on a little run and they come out of the gate, they get the ball, and they go down.
Yeah.
80 yards, whatever it is, score a touchdown, they're up 7-0. Then all of a sudden it's like, he gets a little confidence. You ride him out, you have nothing to lose, right?
You go for it. You said basically you gave a stat about an Iowa basketball game last night and the team that they lost.
Eastern Illinois, 31 and a half.
31 and a half point underdog, and they went to Iowa and won that game.
Yeah, but this spread's only, 7?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's the NFL. We're talking apples and oranges.
But wouldn't you think, Tom Brady led Bucks?
No, because the Bucks have not been impressive at all. They haven't been impressed. They've lost 3 of their last 4.
Here's the thing. There are a lot of guys banged up on the offensive line. We know that, right?
Yeah.
But they still got James Conner.
Yeah.
They still got DeAndre Hopkins.
Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
They still got Marquise Brown. They have the weapons, and if if McSorley could just get the ball to them, they should be all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
he's got more athletic ability than what Colt McCoy has. It's just a matter of can he throw as accurate as Colt McCoy did, and can he learn on the fly, learn the coverages as Colt did. I don't think so, but we'll see. A lot of dink and dunks, a lot of short passes, I believe.
And another thing you got to look at, too, is when you look at this Bucs defense,
yes,
they're really good against the pass.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be tough for McSorley.
Ben Howard says he's ready if you want to give him a quick ring. Okay. He's in the middle of the quarterback.
So you got 13 guys on the first.
There you go.
On the Wednesday, 13 guys that are on the first injury report. I haven't seen today's, but that was Wednesday.
There you go.
So again, you got a lot of guys that are hurt, and I believe today is more of a walkthrough.
Look, all I can say is that we did this poll yesterday, Roc and Manuch Twitter, and do you want them to lose the last 3 so they get a better draft pick?
Or 4. Where else do you need to? 4 is fine.
Okay.
Right? Don't you agree?
Well, if they,
it's not like you're trying. There's a quarterback you need. No.
Will Anderson at 2 would be great, but
yeah, Will could fall. Anderson could fall 4, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
I would think somebody needs a quarterback's going to try to trade up for it. So I think you just deal with that. But no, I'm okay if them at 4. Especially if they do get Will Anderson Jr. Everybody keeps talking about he's the guy they need to have.
Right.
And he would fit in real nice with this team. Of course. But, who's going to be drafting him?
That's the big question.
Who's going to be drafting him?
It's not going to be Steve Keim. We know that. So is it going to be the double-headed monster that is currently GM1 and GM2? Or are they going to go out and hire another general manager to come in and shake things up. Also, and we've had this conversation, Manuch has said it many times, he believes that Kingsbury has to go.
Oh, that's
okay.
Great breaking news, Manuch.
No, I know.
Swift WTF, really?
I know, but then
we've been saying that for before you got the extension.
I'm well aware of that. But then we have Dodd McManaman on the show during the week, and he says he probably will get another year just because of all the injuries. That's what Bobby said.
I think Howard Balzer has said the same thing.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people that have. I don't know. I think it's going to really have to do with the general. It's really going to have to do. Let's try to squeeze in Howard, but I do want to talk about the 31 pending free agents and the fact that there's no Zach Allen and J.J. Watt who could leave because they're unrestricted. Howard, how you doing, buddy, man? Thanks for getting on. I know we were trying to catch you on your phone. Real quick, what are your expectations with McSorley on Sunday night?
I mean, I was trying to add it up. I haven't added it up yet. I mean, this is his first start, and what does Tom Brady have? Over 400 starts in the NFL. But of course, that doesn't affect Trace McSorley because he's got to go against the Tampa Bay defense, and that's going to be the key. You expect to hopefully get a little bit better. He had some moments on Sunday. The 2 interceptions hurt obviously, but he'll be taking off most of the reps this week, so he'll be prepared to play. You hope that will make him somewhat better prepared to play. I think a lot will still come down to the line. How successful can you be running the football to set up things so you don't get into 2nd and long and 3rd and long and all those things. He said, I'm playing, I have confidence I can do a good job. So, who knows what the expectations are. You just hope that, that they can play clean football and, play without mistakes.
What if it goes downhill in a hurry? What if Tampa comes in and Brady lights up that defense and they're up like 21-0, 21-3 at the half? What do you expect out of the Cardinals then to start the second half in the third quarter?
I don't know. That's a heck of a hypothetical. I mean, what do you mean? What do I expect? I mean, they'll stick with what they're doing. I don't think they're going to go to David Blau or anything like that. He's been with the team for a week and hasn't even had – I mean, he's had 2 practices with the team, really, since he's been here, last Friday and then today, and then he'll have a practice tomorrow. So, I mean, who knows what we can expect? But I think we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that unless Trace McSorley is just sticking the joint up.
Okay.
I don't know if they would go to Blau or anything like that. Maybe fourth quarter if it's still a blowout, just to get him some playing time. Who knows?
What if
that's a heck?
But what if Trace gets hurt? What if Trace gets hurt? Blau's going to be in there. If someone would happen to Blau, who's number 3?
I don't know. We don't know who the emergency. That's like any team. I mean, every team has an emergency quarterback. If the 2 guys get hurt, and sometimes we know, sometimes we don't. I'm not sure who the emergency quarterback is for the Cardinals. You'd expect that guy, if it got to that point, he'd be in there basically to hand the football off, because you certainly wouldn't expect too much passing going on.
So the guy they signed on the practice squad, James Morgan, right? James Morgan, I think he's on the practice squad. You think they would want to suit him up just in case? Get a nice payday.
Yeah, I would doubt it. I mean, because you certainly need, if he's active, that means that somebody else that's playing on special teams or whatever it might be is not going to be active.
Yeah.
So that can affect all those things. And so, I mean, if you want to make that case, you could say that any week. Any week.
True.
You go with a third quarterback in case your first 2 guys get hurt. Heck, it could
2
happen last week once McSorley came in. And if he had gotten hurt and he played virtually the whole second half, if something had happened to him, they would have had to go to the emergency guy. But that's pretty much true of every team. Very, very rarely, if ever, do teams dress more than 2 quarterbacks in a game.
Last one. Again, thanks for a few minutes. What is Cliff Kingsbury asking for Christmas on Sunday night? What is he asking for?
A win.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's all he's asking for. A victory. Clean football, try to minimize the mistakes, and just play as good as you can on a national TV on Christmas night, playing probably with. I mean, when you look at last week's game, for example, this team was playing with 12. If you count the 3rd defensive back as a starter, almost, and those guys are almost starters because they play so many snaps. these days. If you count the third quarter, the Cardinals were playing the game against Denver without 12 projected starters at the beginning of the season in that game. So 12 guys were out and not playing. And what that has led to is obviously, I mean, I think they're in there battling. You hear people talk about the team's culture and all those things. I think they're trying. I mean, you got leadership like Buda Baker, like James Conner, like J.J. Watt. These guys are going out there and playing. But when you get into the second half, I mean, the last 4 games, guys, that the Cardinals are 0-4, obviously, they've been outscored 90-16 in the second half.
Wow.
Not 90, 70-16 in the second half. And some people say, well, that's halftime adjustments, and some of it is that. But teams are adjusting all the time. I say it's more that teams that have healthier players, better teams overall now than what the Cardinals are putting on the field, they just exercise their will and play better in the second half. And the offense just, the offensive line, especially, most of those teams they played are pretty good defenses in these last 4 games. And so the offense hasn't done much at all in the second half. And that's shown up in what's happened to this team, not only the last 4 games, but pretty much most of the season.
Howard, as always, man, thank you for some time, and happy holidays to you and your family, and appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot. Always enjoy coming on, and all those happy holidays for everybody out there listening. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howard Balzer. Again, the Cardinals have 31 pending free agents.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
In other circumstances, new general manager, possibly new coach.
Yes.
Why would you want to stay here?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
It's going to be tough. We'll see. We have a lot to talk about this offseason. We're going to finish up our Learner Row one call. That's all. We're going to take you back to the Immaculate Reception, which, of course, everyone knows at this point we lost Franco Harris a couple days ago. But we're going to take you back to the interview right after the game with Franco Harris. Really cool stuff. We'll have that for our one call. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. With, what's that guy's name?
Intern
Barney.
Yeah, he's in the house.
Peaks.
That's the only reason I came back to the show was I could hang out with Barney.
Yeah, well, he's here right. He wants a free meal. We'll come back with more Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports.
voted Arizona's best law firm.
Good going, buddy. What happened on that play, Franco?
Right place, right time. A little bit of luck, a little bit lucky catching the ball.
What was your part in that play? Where were you actually supposed to have been?
Well, I was supposed to be in there blocking, so I remember to say that. Terry tried to scramble a little bit, so I went out thinking maybe I could get it open. He could throw it to me, and he threw it downfield, and I saw Frenchie, I think it was Zach Tatum, go for it, and it bounced up, and as I said before, the right place, right time.
You outrun that guy into the end zone. Did it ever look like you thought he had a shot at you?
I thought at one point he did, but I kind of stuck my arm.
Guys are hot.
Hold him off, believe me, at that point, I don't think anything could stop me from going there.
That's Franco Harris, the interview from the locker room immediately following the immaculate reception. How great is that?
I'm telling you,
that far back.
Yeah, he was a terrific running back. He and Earl Campbell really kind of began the big backs that could be 6'2" and 230, 235, run like the wind and make all those cuts and make guys miss, and also just run over you as well. I'm going to miss Franco big time.
Yeah, you think about it, it's the 50-year anniversary of the reception, and they were going to have the jersey retirement celebration at halftime.
Yes.
And now it looks as though they've kind of changed everything that they were going to do, and they're still they're going to do something. We had Max Starks on the program earlier in the show, and he is very close friends with him. And said that they're probably going to do something bigger and better later down the road, probably something for next year, I would assume. Maybe sooner, I don't know.
I hope that they honor him in such a way. I know the whole city's in horrible shock, and rightfully so. They've canceled all kinds of events that were supposed to take place leading up to this. By the way, there are only, and you're asking, well, how come Franco wasn't in the Hall of Fame sooner? Steelers don't do that.
No, he would be the third, right?
Yes, they have two guys, Ernie Stautner and Mean Joe Green. Those are the only two guys that
it's
are
amazing with all
those stars that they had. That's it.
It's kind of cool.
It's just not their deal.
And it's the helmet with one side is clear and the other side has the logo. The only team in the league that has that.
Yeah.
I was listening to you guys do your 100 random facts of the day the other day. Talked about the one that all the teams there in Pittsburgh all have the black.
Yep.
And silver, which is really cool.
Black and gold.
Black and gold, excuse me.
That's okay.
And I know the Seattle market is trying to do that. I think if they could, they would. They did it with their Sounders, and then they did it with the Seahawks. I mean, all the same colors.
When the Sonics were there.
Yeah, that color was a little different, but
it was close.
I think it's cool. I know Nashville's tries to do that, but anyway, here's what's on tap. Not a lot tonight, brought to you by 72 Sold. Morgan State is down in Tucson. That'll be on the Pac-12 network. That game gets going at 6 o'clock. The Jags and the Jets, that's your Thursday night game on Amazon Prime, or if you're here at Twin Peaks, you can watch it on DirecTV. Jets favored to win that one. They're 500 on the season. Jags are 6-8. That'll get started at 6 o'clock, just after 6 o'clock, 6:15 to be exact. So there you have it. Brought to you by 72 Sold.
You got a lot of interest in this game tonight?
No.
It's funny because I do. I've been following Trevor Lawrence, thank you. Tannehill's out now for the rest of the year for the Titans. I've been following Trevor Lawrence just because of the way he performed so well at Clemson. And he got such a terrible deal with Urban Meyer in his first season.
So you think that affected Urban or screwed up his development?
Oh, there's no question in my mind about that. And to see where he was at the end of last season and to where he is now, it's amazing, Rock, how you can see a young guy all of a sudden grasp everything that's going on around him. And then on the other side tonight with the Jets, and you got Wilson starting again, and he hasn't been able to grasp it yet like Tannehill has. Now, I agree with a lot of pundits who say that Tannehill's a much better talent than Wilson.
You mean Trevor Lawrence?
Thank you. Trevor
Lawrence.
Let's get Tannehill out of there.
Well,
the Titans on your mind.
Yeah, really. I was going to make a play on that until I saw he was out now for the rest of the year. And they're not close in where their development is. And Wilson played a lot of games last year for the Jets, but he's not even close to Tannehill's development. It's amazing how that happens, and coaching plays a big part in that.
Hey, if there's ever a time you needed 72 sold, it's now. They can sell your house in 8 days. They can get you top dollar. They are doing it for their customers. They get you your house in front of tons of potential buyers in just 72 hours to get it sold in 8 days. Make no mistake, they can get your house sold for top dollar. There's no other way to do it than 72 sold. Go to 72sold.com and get your price, a higher price, only at 72sold.com. We are off tomorrow.
Yep.
We will be back on Monday, not doing a show, but hosting Monday Night Football at Casino Arizona in the CAZ Sports Bar. Jackpot is over $3,600.
That's amazing. All you got to do is just show up, walk in, sit down, watch the game,
giving away cash,
and you have a chance to win that.
And if you're off work on Monday night, come on out and join us. We'll be packed. We'll have a lot of fun. We always do. All weekend long here at Twin Peaks. They're closed on Christmas, but they're open on Christmas Eve till about 6 o'clock. And you got Coors Light and Blue Moon specials going on tonight to get the weekend started, to get the holiday Christmas season started here. And one thing is pretty cool.
1 minute.
Is all the girls are all dressed up in their Santa helper outfits.
Works for me.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, Jack's giving his Heisman move to everybody. He's getting so many digits.
He's got his phone out trying to get numbers. Is what he's trying to do.
It's unbelievable.
Just give me a chance. That's all I ask.
Hey, if you missed anything, head to our website at rockandmanuch.com, our Twitter page too, and you can check out our
30
State
seconds.
48 Roofing. Get your call question. As a Cardinal fan, what gift would you want for Christmas year? Sean Payton, a new GM, a new owner, or all the above? So go to our Twitter page at Rock and Manuch. Pretty good one. So for Ben, for Jax, Jimmy, and Manuch, who's off today, I'm Rock. Merry Christmas to you.